Are you 100% confident with your own ways of parenting? I'm not confident with that. But here's what I give a shot. What do you think about the following story? So yesterday, my 5 years old son had a first day of going to a local summer camp from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. As soon as he came home with a sad face, he said to me, I was able to make no friends today. If that were your child, how would you respond to that situation? That's what we will discuss today. How did I respond? Well, before that, here was my a five-fold thought process. So first thought, I thought, oh my Buddha, we already paid expensive tuition for his summer camp, so I cannot waste my money. So I really don't want him to give up going there. Second thought, wait a minute. My initial thought is so self-centered, but Buddhism teaches that when we act on self-centered perspectives, things are likely to go wrong. However, as soon as you shift your viewpoint from self-centered to other-centered perspectives, things are likely to go smooth and harmonious. So that's the Buddhist approach to an end of suffering. Third thought, with that in mind, let me focus on the feelings of my son. So first it's why is he feeling sad? Let me ask him questions to clarify his feelings. Perhaps he's willing to be self-aware and express his concerns in some ways. Attaining that clarity of mind is a great educational opportunity for him. And the fourth thought, okay, so let me do my best to assist him so that he can express himself. That's the goal of my communication with him in this moment. Fifth thought, which is the last thought, if I'm lucky, we can perhaps come up with some kind of solution. But let me be never in a hurry and suggest any solutions to him unless I get a sense of good understanding and having him understand his feelings. So priority should not go to advising in this case, but rather to understanding. I guess I'm ready to talk with him now. So with these Buddhist-inspired thought transformation from selfish to other fish, I asked questions and listened to him. Then he ended up expressing two different kinds of concerns. So we discovered that one concern was that he got nervous and tense in the new environment that made him uncomfortable. And the other concern was that he could not make any friends on his first day, which means he suffered from a gap between his initial expectation and the reality he faced. So he expected to make friends there, but the reality didn't let that expectation to be realized. But these types of experience are kind of everywhere in our everyday life. Although it is hard to see my son feel sad that way, that's something he has got to experience and find a way of coping with that so that he can grow. So my job then here is to support him. Anyway, my son confirmed that these were exactly his concerns. So having clarified his feelings and concerns, I made him a request by saying, I'm glad you helped me understand what was going on. Do you see that these concerns are two different things? One is about being tense, and the other is about making friends. And he said, yes. Further, he said, oh, does that mean I was tense because it was the first day? So then, am I going to feel less nervous and tense as I spend more time there? I said yes to him. Then I said, okay, so let's work on this one by one instead of doing them both together at the same time. So I have a request to you. When you go to the summer camp tomorrow, could you try finding two kinds of moments. It's like a game, okay? One moment is when you feel nervous. The other moment is when you do not feel nervous. So for instance, when you were playing in the pool today, were you nervous? He paused for a second and answered, no, I was not nervous. It was really fun. And a big slide in the playground was a really great fun too. And I said, that's great. Does that mean you were not always nervous there? And he said, yeah, no, I wasn't. And I continued, I'm glad to hear that. You're already aware both when you were nervous and when you were not nervous. Here's what I want you to do tomorrow. After you go there again and come home tomorrow, could you let me hear more about what you discovered about these two kinds of nervous moments and not nervous moments? It's like a discovery game. Then we talk again about it. He smiled and said, okay. So this morning, he was again a bit nervous and yet went to the summer camp. I was so glad that I did not dismiss his feelings and concerns yesterday. Rather, I was able to take them very seriously. I was glad that he tried to express and instead of withholding his feelings. This way, a Buddhist approach of transforming self-centeredness into other-centeredness has been tremendously helping me build a better relationship with family, my kids, and my wife, and many others in my life. Okay, now it is your turn to express. If your child were in a similar situation, how would you respond to that situation? If your adult family members or friends or other co-workers in your workplace are feeling sad or having some emotional responses to some particular situations, how would you approach to them? Let me hear more in comments below. Thanks for watching.